Good evening and welcome to our live crafting session this evening. It is Thursday, the 28th of September 2023. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're joining us live, you'll see a little red rectangle up at the top left hand of your screen. And if you are joining us live, then do say hi. It's always lovely to know who's watching with us. If you're watching on catch up or replay, then a warm welcome to you too. You may be watching on Facebook. You may also be watching on YouTube. And in either case, if you have any questions or comments or queries about what I've created or what I've used, then don't hesitate to pop those in the comments section and I will look at those and get back to you. So for those of you who may have come across me for the first time, my name is Jenny McCormack. I happen to be an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I love crafting and in particular paper crafts, and I go live twice a week on Facebook and YouTube to give you different ideas and show you some ways of using our stamp sets. All the products I use are from Stampin' Up, and you can purchase those. If you're based in the UK, you can purchase those through me. If you're in other parts of the world, such as USA, Canada, Australia and parts of Europe, you can purchase those from your local demonstrator. You can just go to stampinup.com and look for your local demonstrator, who I'm sure will be able to help you. Hi Zana, great to have you join us. So we've been using this particular stamp set this week. As you can see, it's called Whale Watching, and we've had great fun with this at Coffee and Card. We've made so many different cards, either just using this stamp set on its own or coordinating it with other stamp sets. It works particularly well with this stamp set here, Waves of Inspiration. It has this beautiful wave here, so I am going to be using that this evening, and that also has some nice sentiments as well. And this has a series of dies, and they are tucked in here. I have pre-cut, well, I happen to have in my bag some of these dies already cut, so there are two dies that layer together to give the effect of a wave and water. And there are also a couple of little tag dies, some dies that cut out the pelican here, and some of the sentiments fit on there, and also there are some clouds and cloud details. So a nice stamp set. This is in the annual catalogue, as is this, and the Whale Watching stamp set is in the new mini catalogue. Hi Catherine, welcome to you. I hope you've had a good and productive day. So let me show you a few of the cards that I've made already with this stamp set. Just move that to the side. So here's just a few. So I demonstrated one similar to this, which uses the large whale coming out of the sea, and I use the elements. So this is all from the Whale Watching stamp set. I use this, in fact in this one I just used the fierce sea as opposed to the calm sea, and then the whale coming out, and then there's some useful little clouds in there as well. Oh, Catherine's been busy working, bless you. So that's that one, and that's just on a square card, and I also stamped one of the whales on here. This is a straightforward one, just using a circle die, but you could use a circle punch in the same way. I stamped the calm sea and then used a piece of grid paper, or you could use masking paper or you could use just post-it note, that's what I'm trying to think of, and just put that across and then use a blending brush to get the depth of colour for that sea. And the colour that I've used here is Blueberry Bushel, and then we've got this single whale on top. Hi Sandra, thanks for joining us. And again, that's on a square card, and I just added some elements of the waves on the inside. In this set you also have some scenery, and that's how I created this card. So this fits on a note card, and I've used Pool Party as the colours here. I stamped these scenery in Pebbled Path, and then I used a blends pen just to colour that in a little bit, and then I've used the calm sea and the stormy sea here over on the left hand side. Added the smallest of the 3 whales on there, and then added some clouds in the sky, and that will go onto a white note card. And then this morning I remembered that I had some of this lovely wave paper. I think it's called Waves of Inspiration, which is the same as the stamp set or something similar. And so what I did was I cut this into 3 layers. I cut along some of the lines, but just did that fussy cutting with my scissors, and then layered those on with dimensionals. So this is flat on the bottom, this top piece. This has got 1 layer of dimensionals, and this has got 2, so I've got 3 different heights just for interest. And then I stamped and cut out 3 of the whales. I've got a stack of them here as well, so I just stamped them in Memento Tuxedo black ink, and then just cut those out. This one's on dimensionals, this one's flat, and then this one here is on dimensionals, so you get the effect of them at different levels jumping out of the sea. So I've got quite a few other ideas that I want to try out, so I thought I might as well just do them live. So the first one I've got is, again, using that lovely paper. I've taken a piece of that paper and I've mounted it onto some card because I want some substance to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it onto a base card, but I'm going to cut out 3 windows. So these happen to be circle dies, but you could easily use punches as long as you could probably get far enough in for each of those. Now normally I would use our Picture This dies because they have, I think they have 4 circles ready cut, but that's currently out on loan to somebody. When I went to look for it, I realised of course I don't have it. So you can just recreate that effect with some circle dies. I haven't decided which way around this is going to go, and I also haven't decided what colour I'm going to put behind, whether I leave it this colour or whether I make it white. That's my inside. And then I stamped earlier some of the whales in the 2 main sizes, but you could use the large one as well, and I'm just going to have those basically popping out of these holes that I'm going to cut, like so. So let's do the cutting of this first. I haven't really thought which way round. That actually works quite nicely, doesn't it, as a sea scene, or maybe that way. And I'm just going to cut maybe 3 like that. It's not super critical where they go. Just going to put this bit of rather well used tape on. It's got glitter on here from somewhere. Oh, hi Jeanette. Yeah, Facebook does its usual thing, I'm afraid. Hopefully I'm in the right place. Oh, paler at the top. I think it should be that way. And move those up like that. Something like that. Maybe like so. And then I have got I've cut some of these dies from that same set from the waves that could go across. I wonder if I need to move it up so it could go on the bottom. Maybe like that. Okay. So yes, the best thing to do is when you're on my Gemini Crafts page is look for the 3 little dots on the top right hand side or just underneath the video, and you want to click the notifications on. Facebook have set it so that they turn off, I think, automatically. Very rude. Okay, let's just die cut that. I've just used plain circles. I haven't used stitch, but you could easily use stitch ones if you want to. Okay, let's have a look and see. Just carefully peel those away. I can't believe it's dark already. 7:15 and it's dark. Okay, there's one. Take this one out. Let's take it a little bit more carefully. There we go. Yes, refreshing the page. Yeah, because notifications don't always come out, do they? So yeah, just keep refreshing. It's a bit of a nuisance, but there we go. As long as you found us eventually. And you know that you can catch us on YouTube, but I don't always upload to YouTube the same day. Okay, so there I've got my 3 holes, and I'm just going to decide whether I put that on a white card, or I could put these actually back in, because I'm thinking I want this up on dimensionals, and then my whales, obviously I'm going to cut his tail off. There's one there, and I could actually stamp the large one and have the large one going that way, which would be better, because otherwise those are the same, aren't they? So what do we think? Do we want this just behind? I think we probably do, actually. I think that would be better, because it could look odd with the blue. Let's have a look and see what it looks like with the white behind, because that's the other option. I know this is not quite the same. It's not the same size, but that would be the other option. Like so. Could have it coming out, of course, like that. Okay, let me know what you think, what backing, whether I should leave it white or whether I should drop these back in. I'm just going to stamp the other whale, so I've got one going in the other direction. There we go. Let's find a block and just pop that on. I have refilled my ink pads because my black ink pads were very dry. Okay, I'm going to stamp the whole thing even though I'm only going to cut part of it out. Maybe tuck the tail underneath the circle. Yep, that sounds good to me. So like that sort of thing. Okay, let's just cut this out. I'm not going to use all of that because obviously that's bigger than my circle. Yeah, blue is too much. So it's a case of whether I do white or whether I do put the panel back in. Let me take my glasses off. Just cut this one out. And on this one, I did actually leave a white edge around the whales, because they sort of got lost, because this is quite a busy pattern obviously, so I left the white edge around them so that so they stood out basically. Probably don't need to do that as much with this one depending on what backing. So just going to cut the front of this whale out. I don't need to worry about any of that. Like so. Can't believe A, it's Friday tomorrow, and B, it's October on Sunday. That's unreal. Okay. That will be fine. So I'm just going to chop this piece off here. Okay, so I think that would suit that at the bottom. Just going to try this. I don't think it worked this way quite as well. No, definitely the way I've done it. So the question just is, do I put the circles back? I could do that. I think it needs this white layer. So let's put the white layer on here. And that's just going to go on the front. That was going to be my inside, but I decided I quite like that extra layer. So just putting that on there. Okay, so this is how that's going to go. So I'm going to pop the I think it needs those, doesn't it? Not that one though. So I think what I'm going to do to make sure this sits in the right place is just use a little bit of post-it note on here. No, tape, post-it note, whatever you've got to hand. So that's going to hold that in place, and then I'm going to position these in and glue these down. I think I'll just use tape runner. Hi Diane, I hope you're well. We missed you at Coffee and Card. I know you've been busy working. Okay, so that one I'm going to fit back in there. and then this one goes down here. This paper was so nice. It was a limited edition, so I'm afraid you can't get it anymore, and I don't think it's in the clearance rack either. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up, and then my last one goes in here. Is it that way? I think it is. Nope, it's that way. There we go. So I've got my 3 pieces back in situ, and then I'm going to lift this out. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals, and I want a fair amount on there just to keep it nice and tidy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it through North today. But yes, hope we can see you tomorrow. So I'm just putting quite a lot because I want this well supported. I have layered the paper onto card, and that is actually thick card as well, because I don't want it to sort of, you know, disappear down. So I'm going to pop these on, and then I wonder if I should put my whales on first. What do we think? So this is going to go back on. So I've got this one, and actually this could go upside down. I was a bit concerned that they were facing the same way. What do we think? We'll have to trim him off if I do him like that. Okay, that definitely works. I'm going to trim this little bit around his fin. There we go. Then you can go right up into there. Let's have a look, see. Yeah, I think that will work. So just going to put that, like, just literally drop that in place, not position it down. Like that. Raise the top layer. Oh, what, this one or this is going to be on dimensionals. Like so. He could definitely go on dimensionals because that works exactly in there. And I think I might put this on dimensionals. Let's cut his tail off. Just for a bit of interest. See if it works. I'm just going to put one dimensional in the middle of that one. See. yeah, that seems to work. And this little chappy here, is going to have a mini dimensional or a part of the dimensional on there. So this is one of 3 designs I've got in my head. So we'll see how many we can get done in our time slot. That's a bit bigger than I needed. Okay, now if you stamp the whales and they're not very dark, maybe your ink, like mine was, isn't very full, then what you can do, if you have a Sharpie or something, or one of our black blends pens, is you could just go over any lighter areas. Say if you're re-stamping, you could just go over those areas. I'm not going to go too mad, just to fill that in. That's a little handy hint. Right, let's see. So I should have positioned this one a little bit further down. So what I'm going to do is just colour that's okay, that little bit at the bottom, like so. There we go. Okay, so I'm just making sure I've got all of those backings off, which I think I have because they're all shiny, and then I'm just going to very carefully reposition this on here. And hopefully it will still be fairly straight. There it is. 1, 2, 3. So that's flat, that's raised, and that's raised as well. Hi Claire, I hope you're feeling better. And then we've got a little sentiment here. And the wave set has a little happy birthday, which is this one here, which I think will probably fit on there. Let's just pop that on. And I might use just a dark blue. Let's pick out, I might just do Sky, I think. That will do. And I do, if I'm stamping a sentiment, I tend, even if I've used black ink, I tend not to use black ink for small sentiment stamps because it's a slightly sticky ink. Just going to try this on the back. See how straight it is. Okay. It goes down to the right a little bit, and it's slightly at the bottom. I don't know why I haven't put the labels on these, I'm sure. So just going to lift it up to the right and up a little bit. There we go. Happy birthday. And you could feed some thread through that if you wanted to, but I'm just going to pop that on there, probably with some dimensionals. 1 and 2. So those are our foam pads. So quite different to this one, but actually using the same type of papers. But as I said earlier, sadly these papers are retired. I just happen to have some left. So I don't normally like to use retired products because it's frustrating when customers can't order it. But there we go. I'm happy with that. Hope you like it. So that's another sample. And then what I wanted to do was introduce the die cuts. So I've got these two here. I happen to have more of that paper, which I might just use. I don't want it too busy. I'm thinking this one and this one. So you line these up together and they're offset from each other, so you get this overall effect, like so. And then I'm thinking one or two, I happen to have two here, like so. It's a bit busy with two, doesn't it? Maybe I'll just have one and a sentiment, maybe. Alternatively, I could stamp this lovely design. So I'm just going to do that as well, and then choose which one is going to work best. Okay, whoops. Just knocking my die cutting machine away. Okay, so just going to cut this down to be, oh, left a bit of paper in there, just slightly smaller than a card. I might trim it further. So this is going to be 10 by 14.35. I'm going to grab my stamp apparatus because this is a big stamp to be handling. And it's this one here that we're going to use. Yes, so I haven't labelled any of these, but I don't know why. Okay, so let's move out these bits of tape. Oh, Winter Meadow, yes it would. And there was something else I thought of as well, the space one. The space papers look like, can look like sea. Okay, just positioning this. So let's put our card here. Magnet up. And then I'm going to put this on here. And I want this actually off the bottom, so can you see there's an edge around here to support the stamp, so I'm just going to actually have that off the bottom of my card. And the same to the left. Now I might trim this whole thing down. So, just picking that stamp up, and let's try As Your Afternoon. Ink this up. Sorry if it's slightly off your screen, but this is a stunning wave stamp. So just use the heel or the base of your hand. You don't want to be doing this with your fingers. You want to get a good contact, like so. There we go, so you've got this detail here. not sure how much of that detail you can see just on the screen, but it's really, really effective. Let me just wipe that down. Now I may use this for this stamp, or for this card, or I might use another. I just want to see what it looks like with these elements on it. So I can position this one here, and then this one can go on top, so it complements the one underneath it. It's not designed to fit it, it's designed to complement it, so you've got the look of the wave. So the question is, am I going to do that and have my whale coming in, or am I going to have something like that? Now, my gut feel is I'm going to use that, but I'm going to do some background, some blending, and then this can go on top like that. So let's just grab a piece. Oh, I've been here before. I can see that. So let's get Azure Afternoon ink pad. So the good thing is I can extend this piece out to the edge if I wish, although I'm going to trim some of it down. And then let's just get rid of some colour. Put a little bit of blue in, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of sort of pink, so it's almost like a sunset. Look away if that's making you feel slightly seasick. So I hope everybody's had a good day. I've had a good week. It's been productive. I've got all my class in a box done and dusted. We had an in-person class on Tuesday. We've got our online class on Sunday. And then bookings close for my craft day on the 15th of October. So booking closed for that on Monday. And then I'll be ordering all the products for those projects. I'm very excited about that. We had a great time last time. Okay, so I've got a little bit of blue. I'm not sure how much of that you can see. It always seems to, you know, dull it down a bit. Right, let's see what we've got here. This is red. Only a tiny amount. So I've got Calypso Coral. It's going to be my sort of pinky sky. Let's move these out of the way. And just going to blend that in across here, so coming in from the edge I just want this as a subtle sky. I don't want a harsh skyline, otherwise I could use the a strip of paper or post-it note to make it quite defined, but I just want this to sort of blend in together. So it could be a sunset, I guess it could be a sunrise in the same way. And you could add in some clouds if you wished by just tearing off some paper. You could also, in the waves dies, there are some cloud dies that are very effective, or you could stamp some clouds. Couldn't think of the word there. Okay, so I've just added that in, just blending that in together. As I said, I don't want a harsh line for this particular one, just like so. Okay, and then, so I may or may not add these. Having said all of that, I could actually leave these out. I'll take your opinion on that. I was only using them because they're in my case with the stamps. Could just use one on its own. Like so. So let me know, white, blue, or none at all. And let's find a whale. So it could be I could stamp the whale onto there as well. What do you think? Quite like it without. And I could take a leaf out of Grace's book. So Grace came to Coffin Card on Tuesday, and she did a very clever thing, which was to stamp the whale and then stamp and cut another one out and lay it on top, so it gave it a real 3D effect. Oh, Catherine says she wasn't looking at the screen. Show white and none. Okay, so that's none. Let me move this out of the way now. Okay, so there's none. Like so. Actually, perhaps I need to bring it up to the screen like that. Okay. And then this is white. Like so. And then this is white and blue. Is that one? Or even just blue. None. Yeah, do you know, I think it's because I love this stamp so much that it works. But I am going to do exactly as Grace had. So I'm going to stamp one and then put this one on top, just to give that 3D effect, because that was really lovely. And then my final card has got some masking in it. Not quite inked up, although actually it doesn't matter. So I'm just going for it sort of in the centre. There we go. And then this one is going to go on the top on dimensionals, which are tucked here. These ones will do. We've got these dimensional strips from one of the recent kits, and we are expecting a new kit. So we have the festive tags kit, which is lovely, really is cute, but we are expecting a new kit as well, hopefully any day. It wasn't in yesterday when I ordered. Okay, so there's our 3D. So the question is, I've got this little bit here. I'm just wondering if I could be clever, because this is shorter than the card. I'm wondering, dangerously, if I can stamp this bit in there. It's risky business, but let's try it. Okay, let's put I'll get myself sorted in a minute, folks, and work out the best way to get the position. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to line that up on there and ink up that edge to see where it's going to go. So, oops, just inking up my tape runner at the same time. Okay, so that will give me the position, and what I want to do is put a piece of post-it note over there so it doesn't get duplicated, but I'm just tearing a little bit of it off so it's not too much of a straight line. So this is going to go on here, like so, and with that in mind, I'm also going to do this. So that one's going to be straight because that's my line across the top. That is slightly softer. Okay. Hopefully there's no ink where it shouldn't be. And then I'm going to position this where I know this is going to stamp, like so. What do you reckon? Now I know I've got the dolphin here. but I'm only doing that little bit. Fingers crossed, everybody. And if this doesn't work, I'll just trim it off. So it's just that last little bit. So what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture is it needs to go this way, doesn't it? Okay. Oh dear. Right, so making sure that I don't go over the edge. Anybody holding their breath? Yes. Oh, hey. There we go. Right, get rid of those pieces. Right, I'm happy with that, so I've extended that little bit out rather cunningly. Okay, you can all start breathing again now. So let's have a look. I'm going to trim that side off anyway because I can't remember how big I made this. 40.35. So I'm going to take it down a little bit, just the smallest amount, like that. And a little bit off the top. I'm hoping I don't put any inky fingers where I shouldn't. Thank you, Jeanette. Whew. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Right, so what backing am I going to use for that? I've got As Your Afternoon. I've got black. That's a bit too close, isn't it? Let's have a look at black. Oh. I don't often use black, but it has its moments. Oh, it's doing weird things on my screen. Okay, fingers crossed it keeps going. Whether it's the weather, I don't know. So I'm going to put it onto black. There we go. Just cut that layer out. Is it freezing and doing odd things for you as well? I don't know why it would be, but it definitely is. Oh, that might need to come down more actually. Yes, it does. Cut off all my hard work now. There we go. 9.5 by 13.85. There we go. Jumpy, yeah, same. I don't know why, nothing's changed. It seems to settled a little bit. Okay, let's pop that down. Wipe the ink off here before I transfer it onto my project. And I'll think about a sentiment to fit on here. I could do with one that's appropriate. I'm just going to drop that onto a white card, I think. It says, we seem to have just about recovered from that. No, I spoke too soon. Okay. Okay, that's going to go onto there, and that will be our finished card, subject to adding a sentiment or something onto there when I'm done. It might end up just being happy birthday. There we go, and it's 8 o'clock. Looks like we're back. There we go. So there's our finished card using that lovely wave from the Waves of Inspiration set, and then I've got the whale here which I stamped underneath, thanks Grace, and popped the other one on top, and then this was the one that I did earlier this evening, cutting out holes from this panel of paper which I'd placed onto a piece of card. No worries, thank you Jeanette. That's okay, thanks Catherine. And just pop the 3 different whales in flat, and then these are on dimensionals, and it's got a little happy birthday at the bottom. So there we go, so many variations. And these are some of the others. Just straightforward. And then this one here. So I hope you like it. So it's called Whale Watching. That's the name of the stamp set. Thank you, Diane. Glad you have enjoyed them. So yes, just some sentiments. I'm just going to have a look through the sentiments that I've got and find something. I don't know which is my preferred one really. I've got so many. I've sent some already, so these even aren't all of the ones that I've done. These are just a few of the sample ones, so I hope you like it. I am going to cut off now because it is flickering for some bizarre reason on my screen. Whether I've got a loose cable or something, I don't know. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to crafting with you again real soon. I'm also planning our October classes, and I've got to plan those early because some of the products are going out of stock. They are due back in again, but I need to make sure obviously for my classes that I've got sufficient that I can order. So watch this space, and I might need to close booking for the next classes early, and I am going to do a Christmas and a non-Christmas set again. So thank you so much, and I look forward to crafting with you again really soon. Bye for now, and thanks for your support. Take care.